Hi everyone. Now we are going to look into another use case, that is how do we consolidate an Excel file, or how do we consolidate multiple Excel files or multiple Excel sheets into one file. Okay. So the data which is there in multiple sheets in a single Excel file, or the data from multiple sheets from multiple Excel files. How do we consolidate that data into a single Excel file? So now we are going to look into that step by step. So let's get into the video. So first of all, let's create some data sets, okay, manually. So on my computer I'll just try to pull up some the existing data, like I'll go to my Alteryx samples and I'll look into the book one, not this. I'll go to new book, not this. This one, it's also not this. I'll go to some downloads, then I'll go to this dataset. I don't know what it is, but oops, it's an interesting dataset. So the sheet name is Married at First Sight dataset. It's interesting. Okay, I'll do one thing. Okay, so instead of this one, I'll just copy this sheet. I'll rename this sheet name first of all. So this is sheet 1. Okay, now I'll just copy this. I'll just copy this data and paste it into multiple sheets. Right. So this is my use case. I will have to. So our use case, our activity, our task is to consolidate this data from multiple sheets into a single Excel files. Okay. So then what I can do? So let me look at the file name first of all. 4701229. Okay. I'll drag this here. Okay, so I got an error, I can't open file that is used by some other process. So I would need to close this Excel. Then only I will able to get the data. So sheet 1, okay. So this is the sheet 1, right? Here I can able to make some changes. So since there are 4 sheets, right? So the very first, the simple way. So since there are only 4 sheets in this particular file, I can just copy this input tool to multiple inputs. Okay. So here I have included sheet 1. Here I am selecting sheet 2. Right. Here I am selecting sheet 3. Here I am selecting sheet 4. So this is fine. So if I would need to consolidate this data, what do I have to do? Or what do I need to do? Right. Let me put it here. What I can do to consolidate the data, I'll just use union so that all my data gets consolidated. Right. So this one. So each sheet was having 68 records. So if you look at this union, we have got 272 rows, right? This means it got consolidated. This is one way, right? This is one way of consolidating the data from multiple files, from a single file and multiple sheets. If we have single file and multiple sheets, so this is one way. Okay, what if this sheet contain or this Excel file contain more than 10? Okay, so we cannot place more input tools, or we cannot place, if we have 100 sheets, we cannot place 100 input tools, right? So that's why what I can do, first of all, instead of putting these many input tools, I'll put a single input tool. Instead of selecting the sheet name manually here I'll input only the sheet names, right? What happens if I do? So this is, so I got sheet 1, sheet 1, sheet 1, sheet 1, right? Sheet 1, right? So what is happening here? I got the sheet 1, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 1, right? Here one more thing we need to change here, that is in the import data, in the input tool configuration window, we have to change this to yes, right? Full path. Output the file name as field. So what happens? So we are selecting as full path here, so that this particular file's complete path will be selected here, right? This is what we can do, right? Then instead of the sheet names, what I can do, I will just use find and replace, find and replace, right? Find any part of the sheet names, find value. What is this? Instead of this, we have to add it manually. So what I can do, instead of this find and replace, I'll just use formula tool. Okay, I'll go to formula tool, then I'll just update my file name column here, file name, replace string will be my file name, target is my this phrase, list of sheet names, right? I'll just copy this here. This is my target, right? Replacement will be my sheet name. I can say select this sheet names. What happens now? I will get like this, instead of sheet 1, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 1. Then I can use dynamic input, right? What does this do? Here we would need to select the input data source template, so that if the template, not that, if the schema in this particular sheets or in this particular Excel file matches the template or matches the schema, whatever we are going to insert here, if that matches, the data gets consolidated. So instead of selecting some input, what I can do here, I can write %temp instead of setup connection. I can write %temp %, right? What happens here? If I select this, instead of yxdb, I'm going to read this as .xlsx, right? .xlsx, okay, right? It will work. If I run this, the field is missing. Yeah, we have to change this file name and change the entire file path. This is what we have to select here, right? Done. Now we got the 272 records again. So the data got consolidated from each and every sheet, right? This is one way of consolidating the data if the schema is same in all the sheets, right? So this is one of the way. What we can do, we can use this is if we have a single file, if we have a single Excel file and that single Excel file contains multiple sheets. This is the approach, right? So for this we can use macro as well. Macro means like let's create a macro here. We will discuss very detailedly about macros in another session, but input not text, input data, right? Set up a connection, this one, we have to create a bash macro, this one. So we are going to import this list of sheet names here, then same, select this option, full path, right? Just apply the same steps here also until this part. Copy, right? Paste. This is run, right? So we got the sheet name right here. So this is the sheet names, this one. Now this one is, we have to use a control parameter for bash macro. Control parameter, this is one of the things which we have to take care of. I'll replace this, right? So I'll replace this value, right? Sheet names, we'll call this as sheet names or else file path. Then we have to put a then macro output O, right? This one, but I'll get the this one, right? So this is one of the macro. File, browse, Alteryx, macro, right? That sheet names, whatever. Right, we got this out. This is one of the macro, right? Then the next step is to, we have to create one more macro, like get the input, right? Convert this as to macro input, then configure. You can use select anything like this. Okay. Then use something macro output. Just use select here, then insert after, where is my dev macro output, right? This one again, let's call this okay, save as, consolidate, right? We are here. Now what I can do, instead of this, I will pass this insert macro consolidate, right? This happens. What happens if I run this? I'll still get the output as this. Since we are, what are we doing? So we are just this, for this one also we have to create a batch, right? So what we can do, I'll remove this, I'll put this input data, right? Input data, then set up a connection, choose this Excel file and sheet file, right? Run, then keep a control parameter, same, update this sheet file, right? This is file path, right? Let's save this, and yes, instead of this I'll change this to file name, right? You should get the output here. See, 272 records again. Okay, what we have done, we have got sheet names here, we are replacing the sheet names with the sheet name. Then right, so what we have to do, instead of this we can use macro as well. Macro insert, this macro insert macro batch names, right? So we don't need to pass the this one here. We can pass the this one. Let's see what happens. We get an error. Why? Because we can select the this one, right? We got an error again. The sheet names is all right. What I can do, I will include file path as well here. So instead of sheet names, file path, right? File path. What I can do, instead of this, let me change this only to single path, and I'm going to replace this with nothing. Okay, this is the file path, right? Here I'm going to pass the file path. Let's see what happens. Unknown variable at sheet names, right? We got one more. What we have got here, sheet names. Oops. Okay. Okay, we don't have the sheet names, right? Let's change this to here. I'll directly pass this instead of this one. Okay, now let's change this. Okay, I'll take one more formula. Okay, I'll copy this and paste it here. Path, right here. What I got the complete path, right? Instead of this, I'll pass this path, right? See now. Oops. No sheet specified. You must specify a sheet. Is that the one? Open macro. What we can do now? File path, right? We are just changing this file path. Specific this one. Just replace this. Let's see what happens. Yep, I got it. So we have to put a output also here. Open macro, then we got this, then insert after macro output. So then after that we have done something. We have to select this, then macro output, right? This is what we have to set. Okay, let's change this. Yes, we got the output. Yes. Oh my god, it's multiple times the data got added. Wow. Let's try to remove the duplicates from this data. Let's see what happens. Sick. Select all. Click 68 records again. See. So this is how we have to consolidate the data. There will be multiple methods of doing this. Let's say for example there are multiple files in a directory. Okay, what we can do is, so this is consolidating of the data, right? Okay, this is one of the way. So if there are multiple Excel files in a directory, let's do something. So this is one way of doing. This is one way of consolidating the data from multiple Excel files. Let me add this to one container and I'll disable this. Okay, I'll disable this so that it can't. Now I'll go to one directory. Okay, from this directory I'll try to access only XLSX files, right? Let's see how many Excel files are there in my directory. Not this directory. Let's go to my download directory. Oh, downloads. So in my directory there are only 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, five Excel files. Okay, let me consider only this one, this file. Okay, okay, so what we can do, so we can use this now, this macro also again. Insert macro, batch macro, then change this to full file path here. Let's run this. We get this one. Got changed between iterations. Why we got this error? Because the data is not in the same schema. The data is not in the same schema, right? Output got changed between iteration. Output got changed between iteration. That means the data is not in the same schema. That's why we will get that error. So if this kind of errors, if we face this kind of errors, how we manage this, right? Okay, the managing is simple. Then only the sheet names. Okay, then here don't replace anything. Okay, again we got the same, right? Now for each and every sheet. For example, pen macro. So here we are going to find out the sheet names, right? So we can make a filter instead of sheet names here. Path here, we are going to replace this with like this, right? This is what we are doing here, right? Instead of this, what we can do, let's search for a particular file. Okay, for example, I want to consolidate the data from this file, right? This file 47012229. What I can do in this bash macro, just put a replace file name contains if it contains this name, if my file name contains this, then do the process further, otherwise nothing. This is what we have to do. Save this. Then run the data. No sheet is specified, you must specify a sheet. Okay, now what we can do, okay, what we are doing here, we are replacing the data here, right? We are replacing this one. So what we can do here, instead of this, again replace this. Now it will run. Oops, no sheet specified, you must specify sheet name. Okay, otherwise let me change it to, I'll just instead of putting this filter here, I'll put this filter here in this connection, right? Let's see. Sheet specified, you must specify a sheet. Open macro, run this data. I'm getting this, but what's the file path is this? I'm just replacing this dataset again. Okay, I got the sheet names. Then what is the problem? Full path is love full path. Yeah, we have to pass full path itself. Record 1 tool 1, no sheet specified. Record 1 tool 1 in this macro. Record 1 tool 1. So if we select, let's go to here, this one. If I paste it here, it will run. Right, it's running. It's running. Then what is the problem? Okay, we are replacing this one. We can try one more. Instead of this, right, let's replace this. Okay, full path place of sheet names. Sheet name does not match. That's wrong approach. I will need to disable this. Pa-pa-bam. Does not match a sheet or sheet name range. Oops. Replace the entire string. Now take this path, then this is the directory, this is the list of sheet names. Oh, oops, got it. I think we have to get it from this place. Got it. This place. Yeah, you got it. See, 272 records. So get a directory, then get the path, of a file. If you are looking for any specific file, then get that particular file record from the directory stream, then pass it through the sheet names. Okay, then replace with macros, then consolidate the data with the help of macros. This is the other way of doing. How did you feel about this? So if you find helpful, what did you find helpful? Right, this is one of the approach. So we can use dynamic. We can use dynamic input tool. So if you have a single file and if you want to consolidate the data from different sheets in a single file, we can use dynamic input tool. And if you have a directory and the directory is having more than one file or multiple files and with multiple sheets, the directory is having multiple files with multiple sheets, then if you want to consolidate the data from different files and sheets, then we have to use this approach. Okay, that's it for this video. If you find this video helpful, please comment below in the comment section, and if you have any doubts also, please comment in the comment section, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a good day. Bye bye.